What's up guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining some of the things in the new update of this project. Before this update, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is basically a geometry dash level editor on Scratch, which is what you use to make levels on this platform and on this website. But recently it was updated and a bunch of stuff got added, so basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be going through basically most of that stuff that got added. Along with that, I'll be describing how to use some of the new features. So let's get right into it. So as soon as you go into the screen and go into the editor, it looks pretty much the same, but there's so much new stuff. Like over here, darkness effect and color effect, those two things are brand new and I've hardly used them, but I do know how to use them. So first what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be talking about the new 2.2 features that were added. I'm going to be explaining those. Oh whoa. Even more new things are added. What is this? Can you die from that? No? Huh, I wonder what that is. I wonder what this stuff is. This is interesting. Is it something you can like put over the spike? I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But I guess so. In 2.2 in the real game, there are going to be a lot of new things added, such as the new game mode, the swing copter, the things that are in like press start, like these new orbs and jump pads, which include the Spider Orb and Spider Pad. Just to name one of the things. So, in this editor, he has added some of those things that are from RobTop's update of 2.2. And these right here, on the side of the screen, these are some of the things that RobTop has added. Now, I'm not going to say they're exactly the same. They might look different, and they might, like the physics might be slightly different. For the most part, they're the same. So the first thing that got added to this update of this level editor on Scratch is the green pad, and what it does. It basically does the same thing that a mirror portal does, except without the effect of the direction actually like reversing. You just go back to the start of the level basically, and you can add some things to make it in like a 2.2 level. That's just what the green pad does. And then there's an orange orb that does the same thing. I don't know why the pad isn't orange as well, or why the orb is green. Well, I don't know why he just didn't make. I don't know why he didn't just make the pad orange as well, but he just. Okay. But the orange orb does the same exact thing, like the green pad. That's the green pad. And this is what the orange orb does. Literally the same thing. And if you spam hard enough, you could literally just get stuck in an endless loop. So, those are just basically the first two things that got added. The next thing is going to be in the new 2.2 update, which are the Spider Pad and the Spider Orb. He added these in the game. And so what it does is it literally makes you go like a spider would, and it teleports you and makes you switch gravity. That's literally what it does, just like in the real game. The Spider Orb does the same thing, the same exact thing. So I'm just gonna go to, there we go, the Spider Orb, and And I'm going to place some down. And what it does, it literally does the same thing as the spider pad, and it makes you switch gravity, but unlike the blue pad, it makes you teleport like a spider, and it does that for every game mode. What did I do? I don't know what happened there, but it does the same thing. Anyways, that's just one of the new features of this level editor, and it's going to be one of the new features that are going to be added in 2.2 of the real game. So the next things are these lasers, and what they do is that this laser, you can use them for decoration, or the laser with the skull over it is used to actually kill you. So, as you can see, this first set of lasers, I will not die as I touch them, but then this, it'll kill me. So you can either use them as decoration or as an actual dangerous thing in the level. So for example, you could use them for, let's say, a spam challenge, and you have to spam in between those two lasers. So go through here, and you would have to spam. But I am not gonna be making a level today, so I'm not gonna be using these in any ways, not right now, not in this video. So let's just get to the next thing, and I'm not going to talk about those two things because I have no idea what that is actually. But the next thing that he added in the 2.2 update is these normal objects right here, you can see don't have a red outline like these do. And what these do, there's a new trigger associated with these new blocks, and I will go into that in a little bit, but I'm not going to do that right now because there's other stuff to do first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use all the triggers in this update. So the first trigger is the background trigger, and what it does, this first top option right here, it says other T color. This is used to change what color you want the background to turn into. And right now you can see number 0 right there. And as you go on, the numbers will change, and it goes all the way up to 200. 0 is red. The 0 number represents a red color. Oh, wait, I forgot to change that. So the 0 represents a red. And as you can see, boom, red. The background changes into a red color instead of blue. And it goes on, and it forms different colors, and once you place the trigger down, you can see what color it's going to change into. So right now the trigger is a blue color, so I'm going to assume it's going to turn into a blue color. And it did, but it's a light blue, as you could tell, because on here it shows a light blue. And then so as you go further, it goes through, like, it goes in the rainbow, the order of the rainbow. So 0 is a red, then it goes on, and about around like 15 is your average orange. Yeah, 15 is about your average orange, and then yellow, your average yellow is at about number 30. Yeah, there it goes. So number 30, color number 30 is about your average yellow. Color number 60 is about your average green. And of course, as you go in between these colors, like say I use number 45, it'll be like a yellowish green color, like a lime green. Yeah. And then I'd say once you get up to about, 117 or 120 or whatever you want to say. It's your average blue, which is what the background is already. And then as you go further, it'll get into like a deeper blue at about like 140, I'd say, is like a nice purple color, but it still has a hint of blue in it. And then if you go even further, it'll be a normal purple color, kind of like a lavender type of color. And then towards the end, you get into like more of the pinkish purples, and then it gets closer to red at the very end. And then the very last number, which is number 200, color number 200, that I believe is also a red. Yes, it is. Like that. But let's say it's a more vivid red than number 0. Not completely sure, it might be the same. Let's see. Yeah, those two colors are exactly the same. So that's how you use the top option. It chooses what color you want to use. You can choose which color you want to use on the top option. And then the second option right here, other T darkness, you'll see it usually starts you out with like a 0. That means the color is not dark and it's not any brighter than it normally would be. So it starts out with 0, and you can go to the left, which would use negative numbers, and the negative numbers represent how dark the color is. So say I want a dark red, like a really dark red, I would go to like -80 probably, and it shows like it's almost black. And as you can see, it's like a really dark red, like you would use in a, say, like Cataclysm or Bloodbath. If you want a brighter color, you go into the positive numbers. If you want a really bright red, go up here about +80, and it'll be more of a pinkish color, almost white. So with these variations of each color, you can create new colors. If you want like a normal bright red around like 30 or 40, it'd still be kind of a pinkish color, or a peach color, I guess you could say. And basically that's just what that does, and you can do it with each color that you create. And then, so the next option on the background trigger, on the background color trigger, is in speed and out speed. Those are the last two. The in speed is literally how fast you want the color to come into the background. So as you can see, this background is originally blue, and I want it to say I want the blue background to become a red background, but I want the color to gradually come into the background. So that's when I would start moving this thing right here, and I would change the in speed number, and I would make that number higher and higher. 150 represents the slowest amount of speed that the color would come into the background. And as you can see, I need to actually make this level longer to show this. As you can see now, you'll start to see the red fade in, keep fading in, and then finally it reaches the red color. And say you want it to like kind of flash in, but you don't want it to be instant. You don't want the color to come in instantly. About like 5, you would use like numbers 5 to 10, I guess, and it does that, but that's still a little fast. So maybe use maybe like 15, number 15. Maybe use that. Yeah, that comes in pretty fast, but not too fast. But anyways, that's what the end speed does. You can choose how fast or slow you want it to be. Number 150 is the slowest, and number 1 is instant, which is the fastest. The outspeed is the exact same thing. You can make the color fade out. So say my in speed is at number 30, the color would gradually come in, and when the color reaches red or green or yellow or whatever color you have it set to, it will start to fade out of the background and go back to the original color, which would be blue in this case. So my out speed is going to be 42, and you'll see the color slowly start to fade in and fade out, as you just saw there. So with in speed 150 and out speed 150, this would be the slowest you can get the colors to fade in and out. So I'm going to put the trigger as early as I can and just see as the red slowly fades in, but then it starts to fade out as well as I complete the level. But it didn't go, yeah, there it is, it faded back out to the original blue color that we had before. So to make this level even longer so I can showcase more stuff. So let's just look at that one more time. The color red fades in slowly, reaches red, and starts to fade out, and fades out slowly. But that's only because we have the out speed as number 150, which is the slowest you can get it. And this is literally the same thing as the in speed, except it does the opposite. So hopefully that helped just then. I just described the color trigger to you guys. I hope that helped. Next trigger is the move trigger. What this does is you can use this to literally just move blocks around in the level. So say you want to move a block around but you don't know how. That's what I'm here for. Or at least that's what I'm here in this video for. So go to your move trigger, and you can open the trigger menu by pressing F, if you did not know that. So you can choose this color by pressing F, open the trigger menu on this by pressing F, and the block menu, which I'll get to that in a second, you can open by pressing E. But I mean, you really didn't need me to say that because it's in the instructions. And so before watching this, well, before really doing anything, trying to do anything, make sure you read the instructions. So what you have to do first is you have to press E to open the block menu, and go look at where it says group, and that number right here represents the block group that you are using. It goes all the way up to block group number 500. Right now I'm just going to use block group 5. I'm going to place this block down, and that is set as at block group number 5. Then what I'm going to do when I put before I put the trigger down, I'm going to set this back to group number 1, so that these two things are not in the same group. And I'm going to press F to open this trigger menu. Make sure that this right here is set to the group that I used for that block. And the group that I used for the block right there is group number 5. So I'll change it to block group number 5. And again, goes all the way to 100. 500, I mean. So let's go back and set this to 5, which will make sure that this block moves. Then I want to see how fast I want the block to move. And if you want it to move slowly, it goes all the way up to 450. And so 450 would move the block very slowly. 1 would move speed number 1 would move the block instantly. These two options right here is the amount of like X and Y that you want to move the block. So click the gear right here, and this will pop up. It says set X type follow to track X, and if you type follow, as the player moves, the block will move with it. So what I'm going to do, every 24 numbers represents a block. So if I wanted to move a block 2 blocks over, I would put 48 down as my X. And I know this is confusing, but I'm sorry if I'm not good at explaining this. I'm just sorry, but this is how I explain it. So, if you type a negative number for your X, it will move it to the left. It will move the block to the left. And if you type a positive number as your X, it will move the block to the right. And so I'm going to move the block to the right. And I'm just going to move it over 3 blocks. So 24 times 3 is 72. So I'm going to put a positive 72 as my X. And then I don't want to move it up or down right now, so I'm not going to put anything for my Y, because the Y moves it up or down. The rotation, I'm not going to put anything for that. I guess I'll just put in, yeah, I'm not going to put anything for that. The length, we already set that. I already talked about the length and ticks. That just is how fast you want the block to move. I guess I'll put, like, let's do 30. And so now, if you go back into the trigger menu, it's ready. And so I guess I'll just put this down, and the block will hopefully move 3 blocks over to the right. And I don't know if it'll work, but I'm hoping that this will work. I'm not sure if it'll work. Yeah, it didn't work. It did this one time when I tried to do it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. Let's try this again. I'll just put a random number as my X. 0. I guess I'll put 90. And I guess I'll put 30 for that like I did before. Let's try this again. Still not working. Yes, I have it set to 5. Still not working. Do I have to change the trigger group to 0? This is really weird. I don't know what is wrong with this. No idea why it's not working. No, I don't know why it's not working, but I guess I'll just go through the steps again. This time I'll just use group number 1. So I guess just move it 100x to the right. I guess I'll move it up or down. For the Y, I guess I'll explain this now. For the Y, each block represents 24 numbers, so it's the same thing as the X. If you want to move it 3 blocks over, it'll be 24 times 3, which would be 72. And the positive numbers in the Y, that makes the block move up. Negative numbers make it go down. It's literally the same thing as the X, but it's an up or down type of thing. So I guess I'll just put 24. The rotation, I guess, is... I'm not sure about that one. I haven't really messed with that one. But the block rotation, and the rotation is shown in the block menu, so I guess that's what you set it as. So I guess I'll put 90. And then the length, 30 ticks. what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to 1, since we're using block group number 1 now. Place the block down. And there. Still not working. Why won't this work? Maybe it's a bug in the editor. It's not working at all. This is so weird. I'm doing all the right steps. I don't know what I'm doing wrong because I'm using all the right steps. Let's just, I don't know. Try that. I don't know. I'm just gonna place a bunch of these down just to see if it works. It doesn't work. This is so weird. I don't know why it's not working. So, since it's not working, I guess I'll just have to skip this. If you want to know how to use that trigger, I guess just put a comment down. I don't know what to say because I have used the move trigger many times. I know how to use it, but for some reason it doesn't want to work right now. So, oh well. I guess just put a comment on the project and ask how to use the move trigger, and he'll probably explain it to you. But I know how to explain the rest of these, thankfully. The next trigger is the ghosting trigger, and what it does is if you put a block down and use this trigger, you can either make it visible or transparent. And right here, this first option is ghost, and what it does is if you put it at 100, the block will eventually become completely invisible, and I think you can go through it if it's invisible now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place a block down there and put a trigger right here, and the end speed, I explained it with the color trigger. It's the same thing as the color trigger. So I already explained that, so if you don't remember how to do that, go back in the video and watch when I explained the color trigger. So I'm going to put end speed as number 40. The block group is the same thing as the move trigger. Since I used block group 1 to place this block down, I'm going to put block group 1 there, and it's already set to that. So hopefully when I pass this trigger, the block will become invisible, and it does not, of course. Of course it doesn't work. I don't know what to do because it's not working for some reason. Why won't this work? Why doesn't this work? It's not working. It's not working for some reason. For some reason it's not working. I have no idea why this isn't working. I think this is a glitch, and I think that something happened to the editor, and I think it's bugged right now, and I don't think any of the triggers are working, except for of course the background trigger is working. I can get that to work easily. Yeah, that'll work, but this won't. and I use it in a lot of my levels. Oh, there it goes. Now it's working. It's working now. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't glitch out again. And what you do, I explained the ghosting part, this right here, number 100, it'll make the block completely invisible. Negative 100 will make the block completely visible. I already explained the end speed, and I already explained the block group. So let's just put it at ghost negative 62, and let's put the end speed at 10 or 15. Place the trigger down, and what? Again? It's not working? Why doesn't it work? This is terrible. Oh, why? I'm just gonna place a bunch of these things down and see if it works. Nothing. Literally nothing. This is so weird because for some reason the triggers are not working at all. I got it to work one time. If you follow the steps, I mean, it usually should work. It usually should. But I guess it's not gonna work now. But I mean, I explained it pretty well just then. So I mean, that's really how you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to set the ghost right here. Negative 100 ghosts it to make it like completely visible, and then of course, everything, and then 100. It makes it completely invisible. I mean, did I do that right? No, I don't think I did. So negative 100. This number right here will make it so that the block is completely invisible. Ghost number 100 will make it so that the block is completely visible, I think. Maybe, did I actually do that wrong on accident? Did I actually accidentally do that wrong? No, I didn't. I didn't do it wrong. Or maybe I did. Hold on. I did. I don't know how I did that wrong. But, now I know. So, I explained that wrong or something. I don't know what I did there, but now I figured it out. So ghost number 100 will make the block completely invisible. Negative 100 will make the block completely visible. End speed and block group I have already explained a couple times. So I guess we'll set it to number 68, which will make it partially visible. But not, wait, actually no. I'll set it to 50, which will make it partially visible, but not completely invisible. Place the block down. And boom. It gradually became partially invisible. And if you set it completely to 100, and the block becomes invisible, I'm not sure, but I think you can go through it. Yes, you can. You can go through it. If it is made completely invisible. So that's how you use that trigger. Oh gosh, that was terrible. This right here, this is the instant count trigger. It does not do much, so I'm not gonna really use that. Most people don't use it in their levels anyways. So I'm not gonna take the time to explain it. But the next trigger is the size trigger. And what it does, it literally makes blocks either bigger or smaller. And there are negative numbers and there are positive numbers, as there was before. So the negative numbers make it smaller. The positive numbers make it bigger. And the end speed and block group, I've already explained. We know how to use that. So say you place the block down and you want to change the size of the block in the middle of the level. So it's set to 75. So let's see what happens. Oh, what happened? What happened then? Are you kidding me? Is this happening again? Is this really happening again? Are these triggers really not going to work? Come on, please. Why? I don't know why this happens to me so much. This has been happening a lot lately. Does the ghost trigger still work? The ghost trigger still works. So why isn't the size trigger working? I'm literally gonna place down a bunch of these. There we go. Finally, I got it to work. So, this is what that does. What? What just happened? It's not working again. There we go. It makes the block bigger. So the bigger number that you put, the bigger the block gets, and the bigger the negative number you put, the smaller the block gets. So negative 200 is the smallest you can get the block to go. Positive 300 is the biggest you can get the block to become. So I'm going to do that now. Get rid of these. Let's see what it does. And that's what it does. It just makes the block insanely big. And apparently I can't die when I do that. That's weird. That's pretty cool though. Okay, so that's what the size trigger does. Makes the blocks bigger and smaller. Negative numbers make the block smaller. Positive numbers make the thing bigger. Okay, so that's what it does. Yeah. No, I was just joking. I'm talking to myself.
Why would you betray me like that?
Because why not? Get out of my room. Get out of my room, please.
And plus, you have to take a shower.
I already took it. Yeah, I already took my shower. You didn't hear the water? You didn't hear the running water when I was in the bathroom? Do you not see the towel down on the floor? Oh gosh, my sister sometimes. Next trigger. The next trigger is the camera trigger. So what this does, it sets a different focus of... So when you play a level in this game, basically the character is at a certain spot in the screen, towards like the middle, I guess you could say. But not the very middle, because you can still see what is coming up next in the level. But what this camera trigger does is it lets you change where the camera's focused on. Now you can't zoom in, but there are a few things that you can use. So if you set the camera offset to 0, I don't think it'll do anything, will it? No, it won't. I don't know what. Why is it shaking the screen? You're supposed to do that to shake the screen. Oh, whatever. I don't know. So this right here, camera offset, negative 200, it'll make it look like the player is like towards I can't remember. Hold on, let's see. Let's just see what it does. It makes it so you can see more of what's ahead of you. And it makes the player be in like the very, very back of the screen. And that's what the negative numbers do. It makes it, the further you go back from 0, the further to the left the camera will focus. And if you put it at positive 200, the player will be at pretty much the front of the screen. And it'll do that. And you can hardly see if anything's coming up. So that's just a new 2.2 feature that's going to be added in the new update of the game, the real game. The scroll type doesn't really do much, but if you set this to scroll type 2, actually first I'm going to explain what this shake time does. Shake time, it literally shakes the screen for a certain amount of time. The bigger the number is, the more time the screen will shake for. At least that's how it should work, but not sure if it's going to work. So you can see the screen shaking. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, it works how I thought it would, and it literally shakes the screen for a bunch of time. So shake time 100, I believe, is the longest you can get the screen to shake, and bigger the number, the more shake time. The more the screen will shake, and it will last for a longer time. The scroll type doesn't really do much, but if you set this to scroll type 2, you'll be able to access free fly mode, which will let there be no limits. So for example, in the spider or wave game mode, you can obviously see that there's normally like a roof up here, and so it'll make it to where like there's a limit on how far you can go up, like that. Like, and there's a roof, and it'll let you slide up there, and you have a limit. But if you go to the camera trigger and change the scroll type to 2, then you'll be in free fly mode, and you can go up. You can just keep going up and up and up and up and up until you reach the height limit and die. So that's what that does. So if I'm mini wave, I keep going up until I die, which is goes up pretty fast, so I die pretty quickly. That's what the scroll type does, and that's literally all what the camera trigger does. So the last trigger is actually, this is the block color trigger, and these things right here, these are the same. This is literally the same thing as the background color trigger, except it'll change the block color. Now, to be able to change the block's color, you have to go all the way to the back and use these blocks that have a red outline on them. So that's what these are used for. These are used for when you want to use the color trigger on these blocks. And so, I will place a few of these blocks down, actually quite a bit, and I'm going to go back to the trigger. And remember, the trigger menu is opened by pressing F, block menu is opened by pressing E, and we're using block group number 1 right now, and that is already set there. I guess I'll change the color to be like a green, like that, and I don't want, a dark green, so put that darkness to -50. In speed, I guess I'll just put to 40. Outspeed, don't want any outspeed, so I'll set that to 0. So the blocks will change to like a dark green, or it should at least. Hold on. It at least should. Don't know why it's not working though. This is weird. This is really weird. Don't know what's not working. swear, these things never work. It's always such a hassle to use one of these things. Now the background trigger isn't even working. Very weird. Let's try to do this. Now it's working. I think I have to press the green flag every time I want to reset it, I guess. So let's try this again. Gonna go to those red outlined blocks, place a few down, and do this trigger. Place that down. Let's see if it works this time. There it goes, and now it works. And as you saw, the outline of the blocks changed color. Now, don't know why the end speed didn't quite work. I don't know why the block, I don't know why it changes instantly, but oh well. The color at least worked. So I guess the end speed doesn't really work on this. Let's see if the outspeed works. Oh, right, you gotta reset it to, I don't know if this is really working right. No, it's not. It's really not. The triggers are not working today. Not even this is so weird. I'll just put a bunch of those down if I have to then. Huh. This is super weird. No idea why these blocks aren't working. Trying to figure this out right now. This is really weird. Maybe I shouldn't have the outspeed set at all to anything. Maybe that's why it's not working. Nope, it just doesn't work. So weird. Because I've got it to work before. But if you press E and go to this menu, you'll see color effect and darkness effect. It's basically the same thing. It'll choose the color that you want to use, and when you place the block down, it should be a different color. Yeah, there it goes. So the outline of that block is now blue. If I set it to 60, it'll be like a green color. So if the trigger is not working, you can just use the block menu, and the darkness effect is the same thing as the darkness on the trigger. So that'll be a dark green now. Now if I go change the color, it'll be like a dark yellow when I place this down. Or a goldish color, I guess. More like a brown color actually. Turn the darkness effect up. It'll be a little bit brighter. So it doesn't really change the whole color of the block, it just changes the outline color. Oh, now the trigger's working. So let's see if the outspeed works. Now it's not working. Great. Just great. Just perfect. As soon as I got it to work, it doesn't want to work right after that. That's just perfect. Well, I kind of showed you how the trigger worked. Same thing as the background color trigger. It's literally the same thing. So I guess that's kind of self-explanatory, and I kind of described that in the past, in like basically the beginning of the video. But I guess that's kind of all I wanted to do. I think that's gonna be it for this video. Sorry that I struggled a lot with using these triggers. I don't know why that they didn't work. No idea. Let's try this again. Oh, also, if you use the darkness effect on regular blocks, it'll still work. See? It'll still work on that. So the darkness effect still works on the regular blocks, but the color effect does not work. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Actually, I'm gonna try one more time to get this. See what happens when this does, if this works, maybe. Nope. Still, triggers don't want to work. But I explained it. I hope you could understand it, because I was stuttering a lot. And I didn't explain it very well because of that. But I hope you could still understand how to use these triggers in this video. That's all I had to do for today's video. But at the beginning of the video, we kind of looked through some of the new features of the editor. After that, I explained all the triggers, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you still have questions on how to use it, go to the new updated editor and post a comment and ask a question. And I guess I'll put this level editor, I guess I'll put the link for this in the description. If you need to use this. But thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope I could help you understand how to use these triggers. I guess that's it. Bye, guys.